Hello, everybody. This is Douglas Auclair, known online as Joff. I own the company Logical Graphs. And today I'm going to be talking about money markets on Terra and Migaloo as alternatives to investing in Kujira's Orca centric portfolio. I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of investing in Terra and Migaloo as opposed to in Kujira's ecosystem. I'm going to talk about what my approach is when things don't work the way I want them to do, and what I do in those cases because we are in that situation. So let's get down to it. Okay, from my perspective, I'm going to share with you what I know about on the new Terra and the Migaloo ecosystem. I don't know everything about these blockchains. But I'm going to be talking about their money market systems and how they differ from Kujira's approach. So let's take a quick survey here. On Terra, we have the Cavern protocol, which looks very similar to what Anchor was on the old Terra ecosystem. You can see that they have a total value locked. And I'm not seeing it quite here. Oh, here we go. Of around 250,000. Then we also have Capapult's solid protocol. And they're the smaller money market system. Well, okay, they have 600,000 total value locked. And then on Migaloo, we have the Ginkou money market with a total value locked of around $1 million. All three of these share similar approaches, which is you deposit a collateral. I'm focusing on ampLUNA right now for my deposits. And so you see I have deposited 650 ampLUNA into Cavern. Same with on Capapult's solid protocol. I have approximately about the same amount of ampLUNA deposited. And then on Migaloo's Ginkou, I tried to deposit some ampLUNA, and this is what I get. Go to the Borrow tab and say I have ampLUNA. I go to Provide. I provide the max amount. I take out a little bit just to make sure that I don't overrun my deposit. I go to Proceed. It tries, and it says transaction failure, and details says nothing. Not a happy result for me. I'm very unhappy about this. No explanation. Are they at their deposit cap? No, because if you look at their dashboard, you see that ampLUNA, there's only about $4,000 worth, whereas their protocol has around $1 million worth. So depositing $600 more worth is not going to affect their protocol one way or the other. Why are they not allowing me to deposit ampLUNA? It's on Ginkou to accept my money, and if they don't, that's their issue. And so I'm unhappy with this result. I did, however, deposit ampRoar and both ampRoar and ampWhale staked on Terra, or ampWhale T. And you see that I have around $70 worth of ampWhale T, and I have around $67 worth of ampRoar deposited on Ginkou. So I'm going to work with that. And I have about $600 worth of ampLUNA on the Migaloo blockchain that's not being used. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to TFM. and I'm going to bridge that liquidity back to Terra. So I'm on Migaloo, and I'm going to send this to Terra. And my token is ampLUNA. Migaloo, Ginkou, you're losing liquidity. So if you would like to address what the issue is, that in your protocol on your page, in your app, great. Until then, I'll deploy my liquidity elsewhere. So I grab this much and transfer. This will be also educational in that I will show you how I deposit liquidity into these protocols. You saw on Migaloo's Ginkou my attempt to deposit liquidity. Now you'll see how I do it on the Terra side of these other protocols. So this transaction, we'll wait a second for that transaction to catch up. This is the 19th. No, this is the 18th. And this is ampLUNA. ampLUNA is trading at this time Luna, and Luna is currently trading at this amount. And let's see if the transaction caught up. Ooh, yuck. That is ugly. So the transaction link goes to nothing. So TFM, please update your transaction information because I am not getting a transaction out of this. So let's copy my address from Migaloo. Great. Let's copy my address. Guys, come on. Seriously. Wow. So on TFM, I want my Migaloo address, please. Let's look at an old transaction. And go to this wallet address. And we should have it here. EFM, can you update your protocol, please, to include a transfer? All right, now this transfer does not include an accurate amount of stuff transferred, does it? Let's see. Token. Okay, so it does include it. Great, got it. All right, whale is trading at what price? Let's see. Go away. You go away. And shows I have 5.4 whale. How much is whale trading at? I think that would be in their dashboard. Let's see. Nope. So let's go to the best place to find prices for token, which is Team Tukujira. Whale, can you please include the price of your token? Thanks. In your dashboard. Right, so I transferred my ampLUNA back to Terra. Let's see if it's there. I go on my Terra protocols. Let's go to Cavern, do a refresh. Now I'm going to transfer half my amp whale that I got back to Cavern protocol and half the amp whale I got back to ampLUNA I got back to solids protocol. So I have my ampLUNA back. I'm going to put half of it here. Into Cavern. Grab the transaction. And this is a provision. Of 322 ampLUNA. ampLUNA is trading at this price. Terra, Cavern, transaction fee. Looking forward to when Luna is back above $100 per. That's not today. Luna is currently trading at 7113. So I deposited approximately $300 into the Cavern protocol. And now I'm going to do the same thing for Solid. I'm going to provide, let's do a refresh here. It's funny, I looked at Capapult maybe a year ago or so. And so when I came back and started working on Capapult again, I couldn't find it anywhere. And now they're named Solid for their stable token. And we provide this. Ta-da. So here, add this amount of tokens on the state, this price. So this transaction. I copied the URL for the transaction because if I have to go back years later and find out what happened with that particular transaction, it's much easier if I have the URL as opposed to just a transaction ID. And I have had to go back to transactions after a year. Alrighty. So now I have funds in Capapult, I have funds in Cavern Protocol, and I have funds in Ginkou. I have about $185 in Ginkou and Solid. I have about $900 worth. Thank you. And in Cavern, I have about $1,000 worth. Thank you. So let's talk about my approach. What I'm going to do is all three of these protocols have the same kind of approach. What you can do is you can take their stablecoin, whichever it is, axlUSDC or Solid, and you can go to the liquidation queue and you can bid on liquidations there. So I can bid on ampWhale or bWhale from Bone Labs, bLUNA or ampLUNA, STLUNA. I could bid on that, but look at that. aLUNA, which is their for Cavern, is their bonded Luna. Or I can bid on LPs too, which is pretty cool. If we go look over at Solid, we go to the liquidations. They show you the queue right away and based it upon the token being bid upon. So here too, ampLUNA, but this is a bit different because they also have for collateral tokens you can use as collateral Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, BNB, or bLUNA or LunaX. LunaX is being discontinued by SD Labs, by Stater Labs. So I don't know if bidding on that is going to be such a good idea. So maybe Solid wants to update their system by removing LunaX as a supplied token, provided token. Maybe they're doing that already. And then on Ginkou, remember Ginkou, it has about $1 million worth of total value locked. Let's look at their liquidation queues. So here we can have ampWhale T, Bone Whale, ampWhale, ampWhale T. What is this one? Oh, this is Bone Whale staked on Terra. Got it. ampLUNA or Bone Luna. So Bone Labs or Eris protocol tokens. That's what they're focused on. And if you see in their distribution is mostly around whale. So you have $200,000 in bone whale, $475,000 in amp whale T. So this is where most of the activity on, which is cool. You're on Migaloo blockchain. Whale is your token of choice. Having most of the collateral in whale makes sense. So let's get to it. What my plan is, I'm going to borrow or I'm going to mint stablecoin from the protocol, from the liquidity I've provided. So let's talk about borrowing and let's talk about money markets. First of all, in a general sense. And let's even go back one step further. I think the best approach to investing is to have an investment advisor. And so I have a certified financial planner from Edward Jones. You can choose an investment advisor from any place in the world. I choose Edward Jones, and I choose a certified financial planner. I would recommend that you get a financial advisor. And you may say, well, I don't have any money, or I don't have any money to invest in these protocols. How do I get into it? My first recommendation is to get a financial planner, even if you don't have money. And even if you don't have money, it might be better for you to get a financial planner in that case, because you don't have money for a reason. Having a financial planner, have somebody who has a dispassionate view of you and your goals and your handling of money, will allow them to say things to you that you can look at dispassionately. For example, my certified financial planner from Edward Jones says, do not invest in cryptocurrency. So I don't take his advice, but for the most part, I do. And that is to say, most of my money is in Edward Jones. And because of his financial advice, the money I withdraw from it to live is regenerated by the money in my financial plan at Edward Jones. So I withdrew money over the course of the year to pay for my daughter's college education, to pay for other additional expenses. My balance at the end of the year was the same at the beginning of the year, even though I withdrew living amounts from my plan because of the financial approach that I'm taking with my investment advisor. The money that I have in cryptocurrency is not need to live money. It's not money that I have required to pay my mortgage. It's not money for food. It's not money for anything. It is money that I can set aside to invest with, and that if I lose 100% of it, it will not affect my family or, their college plans or whatever. And that comes from financial advice. So I would recommend the first thing you do if you're looking to make or to manage money is to get a financial planner. Okay, now let's get specific. You're in cryptocurrency with money that you can burn and not have a significant impact upon you. You can lose this money and it's not going to hurt you. Let's look at this specific things, money and money market. Where is most of my money been lost over the past 2 years in money markets? Why? Because when Harmony was attacked and the bridge hack, I had money in AAVE, and that money is now locked because of the bridge hack. In Phantom, I had 35,000 Phantom tokens in Geist protocol. When that blockchain was attacked, the money market shut down and took away all my 35,000 Phantom that were not associated with debt. I had stables covering stables, and then I had the Phantom, but I was unable to withdraw my Phantom because they had locked it against my debt of the stables. And so I lost 35,000 Phantom, gone. It didn't help Geist much at all. They had a tremendous hit because of the Bitcoin hack. But It took away my money. So that's where I lose my money in money markets. Why? Because an attack on the blockchain depletes it of its value. And a money market is all based on the value of what's supplied and what's borrowed. And if what's supplied becomes nothing, then the money market is worthless and goes toes up. I also lost money in LPs on other protocols in Phantom. And in the Terra, of course, in the Terra crash, anchor and mirror. My anchor value went completely liquidated. So I lost all my Luna value, and I lost all my Luna, and the UST that I had borrowed became valueless. And then on Mirror, it was hacked not once, but twice. In the famous Luna versus Luna Classic transition, somebody deposited a whole bunch of Luna Classic into Mirror at Luna's prices and borrowed a bunch of Bitcoin against it, and then got the Bitcoin, mirrored Bitcoin, swapped it to wrapped Bitcoin and got that off chain. So at one point I had 26 Bitcoin because Bitcoin was trading at $4 on Mirror. The mirrored value was $4. So is your money safe in cryptocurrency? My experiences have been, no, your money is not safe at all. So go forward with that understanding. You can put your hard-earned money into cryptocurrency and make these wonderful percentages. But until you withdraw that money and put it into use, like a car payment or get it off chain via transfer out of a DEX or a SEX, your money in cryptocurrency is entirely dependent upon ones and zeros on the computers, which can totally flip at 1 second. Given that, let's move forward with the presumption that your money is valued at what it says, because for the most part it is. With my Luna converted to ampLUNA or bLUNA, whichever the case may be, I have a position in Cavern protocol worth 1,000 axlUSDC based upon my 963 ampLUNA deposited there. But what happens tomorrow? Tomorrow, Eris protocol is going to update their Luna amplifier exchange rate to 0.3233, say, meaning that ampLUNA tomorrow is going to be worth more Luna than it was worth today. That is not an inflationary token. ampLUNA then retains its value over time and increases in value over time. Why I'm saying that is one strategy is to deposit the ampLUNA into these money markets and as amplified collateral, simply depositing it into these money markets or simply holding it, your investment grows over time. So one approach to investing is to convert your Luna to ampLUNA or arbLUNA and your whale to amp whale or arb whale or amp whale P and hold it. Simply by doing that, you are growing in value over time at 15% for Luna. For whale, you're growing at a 6%, which is way better than fiat banks, right? And for amp whale, you're growing at a rate at 63%. APY, APR actually. They say APR, APY, I say APR. because the intrinsic value is going. You're not getting yields from that. You're getting rate. So one approach is to grow your portfolio value at 63% over the base token's value. So the base token is going to vary in value up or down. So I bought whale at 15 cents per. It's now 3 cents per. I just cut myself by a factor of 5. Ouch. But given that you treat your base token as a stable coin, my value of amp whale T is growing over the value of amp whale, which is growing over the value of whale. So these factors multiply each other. And then for Luna, I bought Luna at $3 per. Ouch. It went down to 30 cents per. So I lost by a factor of 10. Bought more Luna at 30 cents per. Converted it to ampLUNA and to ampLUNA. So at ampLUNA, I'm 1.3 over the value of Luna. And at ampLUNA, I'm 1.45 over the value of my Luna. So that's one approach. Just simply buy the amplified token and hold. Another approach is to take a more active participation in the money markets. And the way I'm going to do that is I have the liquidity in the money markets. Now I can borrow against that liquidity. I have $1,000 worth of liquidity in Cavern. I can borrow. How much do I borrow? I can borrow the full amount. Well, I can borrow 3/4 of the full amount if I want to. I'm going to take a more conservative approach. Why? I mean, one is to go full degen and borrow as much as you possibly can without getting liquidated. So, you know, a reasonable approach is to borrow 75% because that's the allowable amount, and then the price of Luna fluctuates up or down, and so your padding is 25%. I'm going to even introduce more padding for myself. Why? Because I have in my hand already the Luna valued at $1,000, translated to ampLUNA, still valued at $1,000. So I'm borrowing additional $300 on top of the liquidity that I'm holding. I'm holding $1,000 worth in Cavern. I'm going to borrow an additional $300 worth of Luna, of axlUSDC to deploy and to use. So I'm staking my ampLUNA with Cavern. And because I'm staking it, I can borrow up to, you know, $400, $500 worth. I choose to borrow up to $300 worth because when Luna goes down again, I have a 50% 50% boundary or safety zone that can occur. So Luna is at 70 cents right now. It can go down to 35 cents and I will still have my original deposit not liquidated, and I'll still have that 300 US axlUSDC. So I'll borrow. Ta-da! And this is a staking or provisioning or something thing. I'm borrowing axlUSDC. And I borrowed 300 axlUSDC. Terra, this is Cavern. Action fee of this much Luna. Now, I just borrowed money. At what rate am I borrowing this money? That's another consideration. My net borrow APY is 0%? Don't think so. My distribution APR is 0%, but my borrow rate is 40%. So at the end of the year, that $300 I borrowed, I'm going to have to pay back $420. So that means I had, for myself, I had better come up with ways of making money that make me more than $120 with that $300, or else Cavern Protocol walks away with a profit and I walk away with a loss after a year. What then is my plan to do that? My plan is to invest that axlUSDC in investment approaches that will make me more than 40% per annum. My approach is find out where the liquidity is in this protocol. And do they tell me? Yes, they do. So AMP Whale has 5.4 million whale in it. They're not being very forthcoming and how much that is in dollar value, but okay, whatever. Then 41,000 ampLUNA versus 7,000 bLUNA. 12 STLUNA. STLUNA is had its day, had its attempt. I don't know how much this is in LP, $3 per. So that's $180 worth. And nothing in the Luna USDC LP from Eris. And ampLUNA is about $5,500. So where the liquidity is in AMP Whale and in ampLUNA, possibly. But I don't know where the liquidations are so much. I mean, maybe a lot of liquidations are occurring against bLUNA or bWhale. I don't know that. I know that even if there are a lot of liquidations against STLUNA, there's only going to be 12 STLUNA up for grabs. So if I bid liquidations for $1,000, I am going to make a total of $10. And so that's not a good idea. Same thing with the LPs, same thing with the ampLUNA. I mean, there's about $5,000 there, but so maybe worth investigating. I don't know. Let's see if Astroport allows me to trade ampLUNA. Yes, it does. How much does it allow me to trade for? Yeah, not good. Not good at all. Or let's go the other way around. We just this is telling me that Astroport is not liking ampLUNA. So I would have to rely on the protocol to unbond the or to burn the ampLUNA. Let's see if it will allow me to do that. If I want to burn ampLUNA, I want to burn 10 ampLUNA. It's going to get me 10 Luna, and it's going to take me 21 days to do it. Okay, so that's fair. So I'd have to rely on the protocol to do it, but that's okay. Um, that's a problem I'd have to deal with if I'm dealing with ampLUNA. But if I'm getting ampLUNA at a discount, let's say a 30% discount, then a 21-day burn to Luna at 30% gain is approximately 300% or more. So that's better than 40% still. And that's why I'm okay with that. All right. So let's go to the liquidation queues. Recall that AMP Whale and ampLUNA are the biggies, right? Let's confirm that. Amp whale, 5.4 million versus 300,000. The whale, so 300,000 is 1,100,000, $10,000. Okay, that's fine. ampLUNA, blah, blah, blah. So these are the two big guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the waters because I don't know anything about how the liquidations are going right now. I can find that out, right? So if I go to AMP Whale and I see the liquidation queue, I see the bids, and I see the liquidations going on. And the last liquidation occurred in the 10th month of last year. So liquidations are few and far between here. So I'm not going to risk a lot of money against liquidations. Okay, but I'm going to put some bids up for liquidation. So let's do that. You see the bids here? What I do is I front run the curve. So at 25%, let's put 30 axlUSDC up for bid. Okay, I did a borrow. Did I record the borrow? No, I did not. First, let's record that borrow. Let's go to Terra. Go to my history. Let the history generate. Take a little while. Here we go. So good. Let's record this transaction. So I borrowed 300 axlUSDC. No, I actually got it. Okay, never mind. Good, good, good. False alarm. So back to Cavern protocol. I'm bidding at 25%. I'm bidding 30 axlUSDC. You'll see why in a moment. Except that I'm using the queue at my own risk. And then I am placing my bid. Let's record this transaction. And we're going to be doing this for a bit. So let's make some room for additional transactions. Okay, so you see I bid $30 on the most liquidity here, right? But we have other liquidation queues. So let's look at those. Let's go to the next most liquid queue, which is ampLUNA, placing a $30 bid. Last time liquidation occurred was in September 11th. So these aren't very active queues. And hats off to Cavern for sharing this information about the activity in their liquidations. Okay, let's see if this is recorded. I have it at 15%. I don't know why. Let's look at my other liquidation. I have liquidations in place at 26, 27, and 25. Hey, that's me. And 26% had a little bit of a hit there. Okay. Interesting. Let's go back to this liquidation. You see that I placed it at 15%. I actually wanted it to be at 22%. So let's retract this bid. All right, now let's place the bid properly. Let's see if the placing the bid properly takes. So I want to place a bid at 22%. See if that went through. 22%. That's me. Okay, great. So, but there are other cues that might be of interest. How about the bone whale and the bone luna? Not the ampLUNA, but possibly the ampLUNA. So what I'm going to do on those liquidation cues is let's look at the liquidation cue. The last time this occurred was in June. So not a lot of activity here, but let's place a bid anyway. I'm going to place it at, I already have a bid at 20 axlUSDC at 24%. There's one bid at 22 at 5 axlUSDC. So I'm going to retract this bid. And instead place a bid at 21% for 10 axlUSDC. Okay. And here I am at 21% with an active bid for 10 axlUSDC. Let's look at the other protocol, other ones. Okay, I have an active bid in place and I can withdraw collateral against it with ampLUNA. Great. Do I have a record of that bid? Let's look for Cavern. Nope. So I placed a bid on Cavern some time ago, and part of it was activated. If I'm going by what I did with, let's see what I also did before. So, Whale. I had a $20 bid before. Did I have a $20 bid there? I don't know. I don't remember. That's why good record keeping is very helpful. So I'm just going to pretend that it was 20 axlUSDC. And so we can kind of do this as a swap. Okay, so I have this much remaining. Let's say I started with $20 and I swap it to ampLUNA. And I'm going to be receiving this much ampLUNA. Let's see. Luna is trading at this much. So it looks like this ampLUNA was liquidated around 40 cents per. It's trading currently at 90 cents per. So that's a pretty good liquidation. If the liquidation was for $20, I don't know. If it were this much, then it was trading for 83 cents per, which is still great. I wish there were a history of ampLUNA liquidated. Here we go. So 26, 29. It's not going to give me how much ampLUNA was liquidated for me, but it says 83 ampLUNA were liquidated for 26 axlUSDC, or 29 Luna were liquidated for 11 axlUSDC, so it's probably this much. That's kind of conformant to the price of the most recent set of liquidations, which occurred back in June or August. Sorry, August. Okay, so I've recorded the information on the liquidation, so I'm going to retract my current bid. And it might hand me the ampLUNA. Let's see if it does, or if I have to withdraw it. Looks like I still have to withdraw it. That's okay. And it was this much retracted. And now I have 26 ampLUNA to withdraw. Before I do that, I'm going to place another bid at 21%. And I'm going to bid 10 axlUSDC. Actually, I'm going to bid 20 because I have some activity. So my approach is I put 30 axlUSDC into a position where I think there will be activity. I put 10 axlUSDC into a position which I don't know the activity of, or I'm not confident with the activity. And when I do get a hit on a bid, I replace the bid with either what it was or add additional funding to that bid because there is activity there. A bid that has activity, a bid that claims liquidated assets are more likely in the future to claim liquidations than bids that languish. It's kind of the last in, first out approach to bidding on liquidations. We're going to see how that works out. Put another way, go where the volume is. So there are very clear statistics on Kujira's blockchain about the liquidations, and you see that assets that are liquidated are mostly Kuji by and large. And you see that assets that are liquidated are usually backed up by USK collateral. So if you bid on liquidated Kuji with USK, you're more likely to have that liquidation bid hit based upon where you place your liquidation bid than bidding on a liquidation, for example, of Bitcoin, which seldom gets liquidated. So that's my approach here. Something that gets liquidated, where a liquidation bid is fulfilled, gets my interest more because it shows that in the future, it's more likely to get liquidated again, is my guess. Okay, so instead of placing 10 axlUSDC against ampLUNA, I'm placing 20 because I'm getting results from that queue. So yay, ampLUNA. All right, but I also want to collect, oops, let's get that fee. also want to collect my Bone Luna I got from the liquidation bid. Bone Luna is this much. And the Bone Luna's price is showing up at 0 currently. Let's see if we can change that. But first, let's withdraw. And it says 31 Bone Luna, I think. I think it says that. Let's see. Let's record the transaction first. Okay, what is the price of Bone Luna? Let's go look. Roll Backbone Labs. Okay, so I did get the 26. So let's look at the unstaked. How much amount? 26.45, 475, 26.475. Excellent. Thank you. Now, how much is the trading rate for Bone Luna? It's 1.73 of Luna. So I get the price. The price is this times the price of Luna is that amount. 83 cents per. And hello. Where is my transaction? Let's go to Cavern Protocol. Here's my transaction right here. Okay. So you see, I recorded this in 2 places, which is, no, gosh. So let's move this transaction here and move this transaction fee to here. And so you see that Bone Luna is currently trading at 83 cents per, but I got it at a ratio of 46 cents per, almost half off, which is great, which is wonderful. And I used $12 to get that Bone Luna. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my bags of Luna with this liquidation queue approach. That is to say that I have Luna, I converted it to ampLUNA and deposited it as liquidity on these protocols. One of my bids from before hit and gave me Bone Luna. I computed that $12 of my bid did that to get 26 Bone Luna. So now I have Bone Luna from $12 of axlUSDC. The axlUSDC I originally got from a swap that I did from Team Kujira before. So there's no debt associated with that swap. But I do currently have debt of 300 axlUSDC and a 40% debt ratio, which is not delightful for me. So my approach here is I'm going to use the protocol to collect liquidations that will pay me liquidity, both in this case, Bone Luna or Bone Whale. Let's see my liquidation history there. Bone Whale. Nope, my mistake. Was there another place? amp oil in this case. I'm going to convert that to axlUSDC to pay down the loan and keep some of it, the net profit that I made from that liquidation in the token that it is, and like convert it to ampLT, and then ship it over to Ginkou and build my whale bags on Migaloo in this case. And in this case, on the ampLUNA, I'm going to convert it to axlUSDC, $12 of it to axlUSDC. But then I have some pay down $12 of my loan. But then I have some ampLUNA left over from that, I would hope, which I will then provide to the protocol, building my bags or building my liquidity by placing it in the rewarding the protocol that paid me the liquidation. And so is Cavern better or is Capapult better? I don't know right now which is better. I can tell by total value locked that they have different values associated with them, but I'm going to reward the protocols that reward me. That's my approach. So let's go to Astroport. I have ampLUNA now. Let's refresh the screen. It says ampLUNA is trading at 71 cents. Which is the same price as Luna. So if I trade, but I can trade it for more. So even though it's saying it's 71 cents, it's trading for more. Good. So let's trade to axlUSDC. I'm going to get $21 for all of my ampLUNA. So let's trade 15. And there's my $12. I bid $12.19. So I trade 15 of these puppies for, let's do max and do 14. Whoa. Not quite enough. Trade 15, that means I have 11 ampLUNA more than what I had before, and I paid down the debt and then a little bit more for maintaining that liquidation. I want to replace that liquidation with an equivalent amount. But in this case, I already did that with the 300 axlUSDC I borrowed, so I'm just simply paying down that borrowed amount. So let's do that. I'm going to trade some of my ampLUNA for axlUSDC, pay down the loan with that axlUSDC, and then I'm going to deposit the remaining ampLUNA, 11 ampLUNA, into the protocol, growing my ampLUNA bag. Let's record these numbers. Blah, blah, blah. So it's saying that I'm trading at $1.20. So let's put 83 cents here. Hello. I'm sorry. Ratio is 120. That's not going to change, but that's 71 cents. It's saying that axlUSDC is 1 over 86 cents. But if I go 83 cents here, then it's saying axlUSDC is the appropriate price. That tells me that I'm trading at a fair price on Astroport, even though it's reporting the price of ampLUNA incorrectly. Astroport, would you please correct the price of ampLUNA on your price projection to be what you're correctly trading it to be, which is 83 cents, not 71 cents. Thank you. Okay, let's view this transaction. How much axlUSDC did I get? I got this much. Record that. There's that much slippage. You see how I did slippage? It cost me this much. Okay, great. Eventually, I'm going to have to convert some of this to Luna because I have about 5 Luna left on this blockchain, or my original Terra account is paying me recompense for the Terra crash. So I can transfer some Terra from that. I think I'm getting a total of 300 Luna from the Terra crash. So $100,000 gets repaid to me as $200, and that they consider fair. Sad. Okay, so I translated some Bone Luna into axlUSDC. Let's this is fortuitous. So I'm borrowing 300 axlUSDC. Let's repay some of it. It says I have 251, but I'm going to repay 12 of it. So the liquidation price is at 37 cents for ampLUNA. We've been there, but it'll take something to get back to there. And you see the loan balance in the background went down by a little bit. $12, in fact. So here we repay. With axlUSDC. We repay this much. Gas is this much. Again, can't wait for Luna to go back to $100 per. Gas will go up, but so will my wealth as I grow my Luna bags. So I repaid some of my borrow, and I have Bone Luna. So I have this borrowed at net negative 31%. Have collateral of 1,007. Let's go to borrow and supply. See, I could supply LP here. That would be interesting. But I'm not really interested in doing that. Or I could provide Bone Luna, 11. So now I'm in the Bone Luna market. And who gave that to me? I did by bidding on liquidated Bone Luna I got ampLUNA at a premium, which I then repaid my bid amount, and with the premium amount of ampLUNA, I'm now building a ampLUNA bag on the Cavern protocol. Okay, I want to deposit 11 ampLUNA. Let's deposit it. So out of the 26 ampLUNA I got in liquidation, I used approximately 15 to pay back my bid entirely. And now I have 11 more that I am providing. Yay. 11 more ampLUNA turns out to be $9 with a $2 fee. I'm sorry, 2-cent fee. So now if we go to my page, you see that I have originally $1,700 invested in as collateral. Now I have $1,018 invested in collateral. I originally had a $300 borrow against that $1,000 investment. Now I have a $287 borrow against that 1,018 investment. So my collateral went up and my borrow went down. Lather, rinse, repeat. Now there's something called West Luna. That's interesting. Oh, and that's for SD Luna. Never mind. Okay. But we're not done with our job because I have liquidation bids against. Does it tell me what my liquidation bids are? Monitor positions. Interesting. Tells me what is very strange. They have no whale deposited and they have $67,000 axlUSD withdrawn. Interesting. Moon Luna, Spike Luna. No, nobody's in much trouble. Okay. So let's go back to liquidations. Oh, it tells me in my bids here. I have 3 bids. I have 1 bid. I have 1 bid. I have 1 bid. ST Luna, I'm not going to bid on. ampLUNA, I am going to bid on. And look at this. I have 53 ampLUNA. And if we look for ampLUNA liquidated against, so that's around 50 cents per. So that looks like about $25. $20. $20, I'm guessing. Very cool. So I had a liquidation bid. It hit. And it looks like $20 against 53 ampLUNA. So we'll deal with that after I place my next bid. So there's a $30 bid for 2 axlUSDC. Awesome. So at 30%. So let's go full 30%. And I'm going to bid 20 axlUSDC. I acknowledge this and place my bid. Estimating the fee, la-di-da. Taking forever to estimate the fee. Something went wrong. Okay. So let's try this again. $20. Place my bid. Little hiccup there. Let's take care of that. Okay, so I'm placing a $20 bid for aLUNA at the 30 percentile premium. Find more room for me. Okay, so I'm going to bid. The axlUSDC, I'm bidding 20 of it. This is my transaction ID. This is my fee. And I'm bidding. Okay, great. So you see there is 22 axlUSDC bid on against Anchor Luna, Cavern Luna, Cavern bonded Luna, which they call aLUNA. So now I have Luna to withdraw. Let's see if Astroport recognizes aLUNA. I have how much aLUNA that I can withdraw? Does not like at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbond that aLUNA to Luna. So if we look at Luna, which I eventually unbond in 21 days, that's $38. I bid, I think, $20 back in the day. So I need to unbond need to unbond 29 of those aLUNA if the price of Luna doesn't change over the next 21 days to repay my axlUSDC bid amount. I'm going to pretend all of those impossible to believe facts are true and go with it. If Luna goes up to $97 per in the interim, I will not cry a river. But aLUNA, so I can't swap aLUNA like I could swap Bone Luna, right? So it makes more sense for me to unbond all the aLUNA to Luna and then convert it into a liquid staking derivative that does make sense for me, such as ampLUNA or Bone Luna. Let's look at the Cavern protocol, or one of the LPs, which is interesting. So, okay, let's withdraw some aLUNA. Let's withdraw all the aLUNA. So I am going to withdraw the aLUNA. Let's say aLUNA is trading at Luna's price for funsies, because I don't know what it's trading at. You unbond it at the rate of 1-to-1, so this is an okay assumption. And I'm claiming this liquidation. Okay, so it's $38 and I bid $20 against it. Pretty cool. Bid $20 last year, but okay, whatever. And there we go. We have aLUNA now. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to provide a notation to myself. And what I'm going to say is, no, when I do the unbonding, I'm going to provide a notation to myself. So now I have aLUNA in hand. One, that'll give me, when I unbonded, Luna, so I'll have reserve Luna to do my transactions. Great. Two, I'll have Luna, which I can trade to axlUSDC to pay down the loan. Also great. And then three, I will take the remaining Luna that I burnt the aLUNA for, and I will convert it to one of the liquid staking derivatives for Luna that actually, you know, build value over time, and use that as collateral. So I'm going to burn my aLUNA to Luna. I'm going to burn it all. I'm going to get back the same amount of Luna that I had. Instant burn is not available for now. So let's burn this. It says per bLUNA. So Cavern protocol, you need to update your burn protocol to say per aLUNA. Anyway, let's here's this. Transaction fee is this. Now I'm going to put a little notation here. And they should be telling me that I'm burning aLUNA and how long it should take. So let's go to mint and burn. Interesting. So if you just simply hold aLUNA, you get rewards. Not something that I'm jazzed about. So it's going to tell me eventually somewhere that I'm burning aLUNA and when I can withdraw it. Yeah. aLUNA is not swappable, my friends. Okay, so it says 21-day burn. So today's date is this. So I'm going to say this plus 21 days. So that tells me on March 11th, I'm going to be able to claim the Luna. Then pay down 20 axle and USDC. As a reminder to myself. Okay, great. So that's aLUNA. If we look at our liquidation queue, I have a bid against aLUNA. So let's go back to our liquidation queue. Is there anything else that I want to do here? Let's see the liquidation queue. Liquidation stats, no liquidations. could withdraw a little tiny bit if I wanted to. I don't have any bids. Okay, that's great. Okay, here there was a tiny little liquidation of 18 cents. So nothing interesting here. And there's a bid at 3%. So again, not interesting. So in my liquidations, I have, why do I have 3 bids here? I have some ampLUNA available. So let's clean this up too. So I have 6 ampWhale to claim. And I have three bids, 20 and 30. So I spent 8 cents to get 6 ampWhale. Pretty good. Let's take care of this. We'll treat this as a swap. So we need some space. I'm trading at $1, axlUSDC. Whoops. And I put in a bid of 20 and $10. So 20 minus this is 7.6 cents that I got on that liquidation. And I'm trading to ampWhale. So that means I bought that ampWhale at 1 cent per. Yay. 2/3 off. So let's do it. The transaction fee is thankfully less than the claim. Can't say that on several blockchains. Just saying, yo. Okay, good slippage, positive slippage in my direction, that is. And there we go. I have ampLUNA in my wallet now. All right, now let's retract these other bids because I have a bid in place. And I don't need this bid. For 10 axlUSDC. which means my bid now can move up to 27% because my competition is at 28%. So I'm going to move my bid. For 30 axlUSDC, retracting the bid. Let's give myself some more space here. And then place my bid. I was competing against myself. Okay, so now I have bids on the queues that I want to bid against. And I also have some axlUSDC in hand. Now, one thing that I can do is I can take that axlUSDC, its liquidity, convert it into something else, like an LP, or Luna, or ampLUNA, or Bone Luna, or Whale, if I'm bullish on Whale, and play the market that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this axlUSDC in reserve so that when a liquidation hits, I can replace that liquidation with a new bid from that reserve. So I'm going to deposit it into Cavern Protocol, well, with earning 12.7%. So deposit on Terra. I have 248 axlUSDC. Oh yeah, because I bid 30. And so I'm going to do a deposit. 12% is not 40%. So I'm losing by borrowing and depositing. Okay. But it is a reserve so that I can bid at better than 40%, expecting a better return than 40%. And how it plays out, we shall see over the next year. So now I have a position on Cavern Protocol. Let's see what my position looks like. My total value net is $981. Have deposited axlUSDC. I'm borrowing 732 axlUSDC. That's interesting. What? Whatever. I'm earning at 12%, $250. I'm borrowing I'm actually lending 1,019 axa-USDC worth, and I'm borrowing 287. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a similar approach with solid, where I will mint solid and then bid against the liquidation queues based upon their activity. And I'm going to do the same thing with Ginkou. Have much less deposit than Ginkou, but that's okay. I'm going to find out where the volume is, mostly around whale, probably, and bid against that. And do we have a deposit? My page, US deposit. So if we go to the earn tab, see we're earning around 9%. So I'm going to borrow axa-USDC against the collateral I provided, bid on the liquidation queues, and the remainder I'm going to put into the earn tab. Same for each of these three protocols. The difference between these protocols on Terra and Migaloo and Kujira is market, because in Team Kujira you have the Fin marketplace, which is very different than a DEX. You have the Orca liquidation protocol, which only handles liquidation. You have the Ghost protocol, where you borrow against an asset and it's stovepiped. So if I'm borrowing Bitcoin against Kuji, it's not going to draw down my Phantom if this borrow gets liquidated. It's only going to liquidate the Kuji, not the Phantom or the ST Atom. Other money markets, you have a total liquidity deposited, including whatever tokens you're using, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the protocol tokens, stable coins, and you have a net total amount of borrow. And if the borrow gets liquidated, or your collateral, your entire collateral set gets liquidated against a borrow that goes over the loan to value max amount. So if you're borrowing a stable against a stable and the stable depegs on your supply side, it can liquidate Bitcoin. Here in Ghost, you're only liquidated against the specific collateral you used to borrow the specific token, which is unique in the crypto world. I haven't seen that elsewhere. Other money markets, it's a total amount of supply versus a total amount that you borrowed. And you can get liquidated anywhere against anything. Very good move. And then blue, where you do your borrow on and other protocols and you're charged 40% or whatever. Blue, you can mint USK from a supplied variable coin such as Luna or DOT or Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, and you mint USK at 1%. So that's a much better incentive, 40% versus 1%. And you'll also notice that Team Kujira, I went through four separate protocols to describe what's going on in Cavern. The advantage of the Kujira side is, since a protocol does one thing, does it well, and does it simply, that means that you can compose these protocols against new protocols that you're building, so that you only take the functionality that you need from that protocol. The protocols on Terra and Migaloo, the money markets, are fused together in all their functionalities. So if you want to build on top of Cavern or Capapult or Ginkou, you're inheriting their entire functionality into your application, where If you're just doing liquidations, you would only care about that, but you're inheriting their entire set of functionality. In Terra, it's much simpler. If you're doing liquidations, you build upon Orca, and that's it. The other difference between Kujira and these protocols in Terra and Migaloo is the liquidity. In Terra, excuse me, in Kujira, you're working with 68 million Kuji staked, which is 3-4 times that amount staked. So that's like $250 million worth staked. Total supply 160 million. And then total USK supplied 7 million. That's about 5 times all 3 other protocols combined value right there. That 7 million of stable is 5 times the amount of all 3 other protocols combined. You want to go where the volume is. You want to go where the liquidity is. Kujira is poo-pooed about the little amount of volume it has as compared to other major blockchains that are crushing it, like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Arbitrum and Avox and Avalanche and Cardano. But they made a decision to start small and build from smaller to small. So they build from a little bit to a little bit more, and they're doing a bit by bit over time. These other protocols on Terra and Migaloo has started small, but they're not building at the rate that Kujira is building. And so the volume is much more prevalent. It wasn't before, but it is now much more prevalent on Kujira than it is on these other protocols. And with that comes the issues with investing in low volume protocols. Investing in low volume protocols entails risk because it takes longer for liquidations to appear, and the volumes may become so low that the protocol itself goes toes up and takes your liquidity with it. This has happened to me on Phantom and on Terra. So the risk in these other protocols is until they have the volume and the liquidity in their protocols, it's a risk for you as an investor to go into these protocols and expect to be able to withdraw your money when things get difficult. Same for any blockchain. If things get difficult with Terra, you run the same risk. However, because they have more volume and their volume is controlled by them as opposed to being lent out to other blockchains, like Terra did, they have that buffer between an issue coming up. They have that volume internal to their blockchain, so you have more buffer to react to an emerging situation. Those are the concerns around that. Let's get back to building your bags using liquidations. The approach that I took for this video was using Cavern as an example. I deposited liquidity into the protocol. So I went to the borrow tab and I deposited into one of these queues. Particularly, I deposited ampLUNA. Then I went to the liquidation pages and I placed bids on the queues that I thought were larger and viable for liquidations. I had some liquidations that actually popped up from prior deposits. I withdrew those, repaid the bid amount for that liquidation, and then deposited into the collateral side the additional amount that I got from the liquidation. So I deposited some ampLUNA I gained, and then I also got ampWhale that I'm going to deal with at a later point here. Since it's only a few cents, I just may hold on to it till I have more to deal with. And so that's my approach to building my bags by using these protocols. Deposited collateral, borrowed or minted a certain amount, use that borrowed amount to bid on liquidations. When liquidations occur, pay back the borrow, and with the overage, deposit or provide back in as collateral, building my portfolio in that way. Thank you.